these violent left-wing organizations that are capturing headlines now use these universities as incubation chambers for the next generation of their activists, of their rioters. You have more experience than any lawyer I can think of in the United States with these violent left-wing organizations. How do these institutions work? Because a lot of people in the past have said that these violent left-wing organizations are just ideologies and they're just ideas.
Yeah.
But you know personally it's more
I've dug into it as a lawyer on a few different cases that have been in the news. First of all, dating back to the UC Berkeley situation, Berkeley wasn't allowing certain speakers to come on campus because one or two of them had attracted a negative reaction from Antifa types, Black Bloc, what have you. And so that was the excuse that Berkeley gave and other schools have given for charging conservative student groups much higher security fees. It's called a heckler's veto. So we saw that, and they were immediately able to basically shut down conservative speech on campus by rioting a little, okay? And similarly, you saw the Black Lives Matter movement, you've seen Occupy Wall Street. These are all strains of different, sort of European-centric Marxist violent ideologies that have come to the United States. Now, the most dangerous and pernicious of these is Antifa, and standing for anti-fascist, which is anything but, really. I became acquainted with a young journalist named Andy Ngo back in the 2018, 2019 timeframe. I just saw his work online. He was talking about Antifa. He met me one time in San Jose. He wanted to meet me. He was visiting a family member, so I met him after court one day and got to become friends with him. And then he was violently assaulted in Portland while he was reporting on an Antifa rally/riot. Violently assaulted, and these criminals had tactical military gear, hardened gloves, weapons. They came to harm and maim. It's not a phenomenon we see on American streets typically. It's kind of shocking.
And all of them in the same outfit.
They're wearing masks.
This isn't just organic.
Pre-COVID, they're wearing masks on their faces, balaclavas, and their faces are covered, and they're there to do mischief and mayhem. And so I helped Andy in that situation as his lawyer. Eventually, he was attacked a second time, then he stopped doing his own because he became too recognizable to these criminals. And so he continues to report, but through proxies. And there's violence against the press is literally something that a civilized society like ours cannot tolerate. And yet we do tolerate it. Violence against the police. Portland Antifa, Seattle Antifa, they've put federal buildings and federal law enforcement, federal courts under siege. And so all I could do as a private lawyer in private practice is I had started a nonprofit, Center for American Liberty, and we represented Andy in suing Antifa. Kind of novel, because Antifa is a shadowy criminal organization, hard to file a lawsuit against someone, hard to serve them, hard to find them. It was a very challenging case, and I'm proud of that case. The case went on for years as we tried to serve people and all of that. We ultimately won a settlement from one of these criminals, and we won default judgments against some of them. We're never able to serve some of them. And
so what makes it so shadowy?
Well, they're shadowy on purpose. They operate in tiny cells like a terrorist organization. They use burner phones. I think they actually prey on and recruit disillusioned, disaffected young people in our society. Quite a few trans people are in the Antifa movement. I don't think I had seen more than one trans person in my life in the wild until the Andy Ngo case. And as I'm researching these people who attacked him, we would use videos, we would crowdsource who they are. Several of them are trans. I don't know if it's the hormones or the fact that they're unhappy with their lives that made them good targets for this sort of anarcho-terror organization, but they are. And so they form and they have their little cells, they do their little things, and then they disperse. They have leaders who travel from city to city and riot to riot. So they have leaders. We were able to identify some of those
networks.
leaders. networks. And so Andy is really the expert on this. I would recommend anybody to read his books on these issues and his reporting. It's fascinating. It's a whole world I never knew existed. And frankly, for too long in this country, law enforcement hasn't done anything about it. And now the president has announced a focus on it. And so we have to get to the bottom of this, because nobody is free. If there are cities in the United States with terror networks and cells plotting disruption of our transit, or blocking our way to our courthouses, or ICE, or the police, or journalists literally attacking the heart of truth in our society.